All right, hello YouTube. Welcome to my first YouTube video. I don't really spend a lot of my time online or on social media due to not really owning social media accounts in the first place and spending a lot of my time training, but I think that I've done something worth sharing. Last year, I was just a dreamer, but today I am the Northern California Golden Gloves Novice Champion, and this is how it happened.
Many say that greatness is reserved for a lucky few, that a handful of men and women chosen from birth shall walk a path unlike any other. But I say greatness isn't given, it's earned. How one sows into their own thoughts, guards their focus and feeds their dreams, decides the path you walk. Greatness is not a dream, it's a calling that anyone can answer. If you would just stand up and fight. Fight for what you believe, for what you love, for what you are, for what you will become. You acquire the strength you overcome. Once you realize what's in your way is the way forward, you can achieve anything.
Hey, future me here. If you made it this far into the video, I just wanted to say thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoyed that little cinematic intro as I kind of went a little fancy with the spices there. Now, this video has taken a lot of my time, as before I started filming, I did not even own social media. So don't be expecting pro footage. I've got a lot of charisma, but just to give you that little bit of context, that context is important. So give me a little grace, and if you guys have any tips on stuff I could do better, or you've noticed any mistakes I've made, point them out so I can do better. And yeah, great. All right. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pass this off back to the past me. Now you better be nice to him because he didn't really know what he was doing when it came to filming. Now you'll be seeing me again very soon because he left a lot of footage for me to fix. But until then, see ya.
Okay, hopefully the audio doesn't stink because literally a train just pulled up. So we will see. But nonetheless, I've hired a fitness and nutrition coach to help me really lock in and get fully prepared in terms of fitness and internal health for my upcoming Golden Gloves tournament. And I just got the work schedule in today, and so we're gonna be doing the first workout. And it looks like we're gonna be doing VO2 intervals where I'm gonna be on the air bike and I'm gonna be going super hard for a couple of minutes and then relaxing for a few minutes just to go super hard again. And this is gonna really help simulate the intensity of the rounds I'm gonna experience while I'm boxing in this tournament, of having to box really hard and then relax for a minute, box really hard and relax for a minute. Because in boxing, you box for 3 minutes and then 1 minute rest in between. So let's get to it.
Step 1. Get in shape.
Originally planned on showing some of that VO2 footage. It is probably some of the worst footage I have ever filmed in my life. Now the reason that is because the gym that I was filming out of has a policy against filming other people, which is pretty reasonable, and I was gonna honor that. But what ended up happening is I just got awkward footage of basically filming the inside of my nose while I'm suffering sweaty on an air bike. And I figured no one wanted to watch footage that looked like this. I decided to go ahead and just skip to day 2, and thank goodness by this point I kind of learned from my mistakes of that first part and got a little bit more comfortable with the camera and was able to film some better footage. So passing it back off to the past me. All right, I'm back at the gym again. Thankfully, the workout schedule today is a lot easier than yesterday's VO2 workout. It's mostly a rest day where I'm just working on some basic jump roping, bodyweight exercises, and one of the pillars of boxing, shadow boxing. Speaking of which, shadow boxing montage.
You know, on a closing note, it's actually getting a lot easier for me to do these recordings and not feel so self-conscious. I know it's stupid, but like when you're just sitting here with a camera in public and you're just talking to it, people look at you, man. It's awkward, but I'm definitely starting to care less and less about that and starting to find my own groove with making these videos. So
all right, for this next step, I really needed to get some sparring in and put to test what the fitness program and dieting has actually done for me. Now, the only problem is that even though I only have about 3 amateur fights under my name, I'm already the best fighter at my gym. Now, while that feels nice, you have a little bit of a problem in the fact that no other fighter can really push you and really show you your limits. So I needed to travel to other gyms to fix this problem and spar other fighters. Speaking of which, you're about to see a travel montage.
Step 2. Don't get brain damage.
You may have noticed in round 1 that we were off to a pretty good start, but I cut a lot of the footage out because we're kind of just going pretty slow, filling each other out. It was a slow pace to start the sparring rounds with. And it was pretty nice at first, but in round 2, things heat up quite a bit.
Zigzag. High and low, high and low. Good jab. Push yourself out.
Go damn.
Mission failed. We'll get 'em next time.
Nice one. That left up, keep that left up.
right, round 2, things are still going pretty good. It was still a nice sparring round. We could up the power a little bit, but nothing too crazy. I was still enjoying myself. And my opponent around the middle, as you've already seen, saw that I had a habit of dropping my left hand a little too much, and he took advantage of that by opening up with this huge right hand. And as soon as he hit me with that, heck nah, I was locking in for the rest of these rounds. I took the fight a lot more seriously, and I started being less merciful with the length of my combos, and I started opening up them a lot more instead of doing these quick little single shots or little quick combos.
Just back up. Go to the side, please. Yeah. Protect yourself as much as you run away. Don't worry just about speed. Protect yourself. One.
Good one.
It's being genuine. Good one. Yeah. Break. Break. Oh, I'm sorry. Hands up. To the chest. To the chest. To the chest. Let's go. Nice, good job. Good on 6. Move, Nick, move. Keep them there, Anthony. You got to cut that corner again. Good. Yeah. Hands up. Don't just make them miss. Come on. Down first, John. Yeah.
In the third round, we really started to get a really good fight going on. He would get some really good exchanges on me, and I'd get some good exchanges on him. I never really like throwing power to the head because I don't really want to injure my opponents, but I definitely started opening up more power up on his body. As you saw, I was starting to really hit him with some more uppercuts. But I was definitely locked in, as I was not about to get hit again like I did in the second round. And as you saw, at one point he tried opening up with that huge right hand again, and I saw it coming, and I had a really clean, like, no-look weave. Overall, I would say this is a really good sparring match, and I learned a lot. For example, I kept lowering my left hand a lot, and as you saw, I got punished for it. But hey, you gotta learn one way or another. I think I got exactly what I wanted to out of this sparring match. I learned of a pretty bad weakness. I kept dropping my left hand a bunch, and I saw some good strengths that I had. My opponent, I think, learned a lot too. So overall, I think this is a great success, but that's just my takeaway. Let me know down in the comments what you think. And now, without further ado, I would say the 2 months I've trained for this and the constant work that you've seen, just a little snippet of it, it's now time to really see if I have become worthy of this title. So without further ado, if you look over there to the sign for maximum cinematic effect, I'll do that right now. All right, I'm just messing. You really thought I was gonna make some egotistical, self-glazing video about my muscles? my really big muscles. Okay, in all seriousness, by this point, I was the strongest I had ever been. I had locked in not just the training in my gym, but my lifestyle, my sleeping, my eating habits. It all had to be fine-tuned towards this one mission. If I wasn't fully locked in every area of my life, victory was not gonna be mine. There was no video games, no YouTube, no screens leading up to this match. And I was eating right, I was sleeping right, no distractions. So with all of this in mind, and everything that was leading up to this moment, every painful obstacle I've overcame, or mini victory that I achieved, I fully believed that my victory was assured. And all I needed to do now was just wait for the match to start. There was just one problem. You see, this problem was both a letdown and a relief. A let up, but also a disappointment. But in order for you to understand, I must first educate you on the matter of how tournaments work. Okay, so pretend that this leaf is me, and then like this leaf is all these cuts in the education. I need more money. If only there was like a board that was white that I could write on. Light bulb. I'm gonna go run to Target real quick. I'll be back with some equipment. Introducing Tino's Flashback. Okay, so beginning off, you have me. Hold on, something ain't right. You have me. And I wanted to be champion. Yeah, that's a belt. Okay, and the only way for me to become a Golden Glove champion is I just sign up for a tournament. Now, depending on how big your state is split into multiple regions for this tournament. So for example, since I live in California, the state is split into 3 regions. There's the north, there's the middle, and then there's the southern region. I was competing in the northern region. I was super excited to sign up for this tournament, and so I signed up a few weeks before the deadline, right? However, I was expecting there to be a crap ton of fighters. As my coach was saying, California was a big state, so they were split into 3 regions, and kind of made me a little nervous. However, when I signed up expecting all these people to also be in my same weight category, there was actually no one. Now, the fact that there was no one inside of my weight category actually made me even more nervous than before. That's because me and my coach didn't really know what that would mean. I had trained my butt off for 2 months, and now there was no one for me to fight, which would mean that I just wasted all that time for basically nothing. However, as we got closer to the deadline, someone signed up, which made me, happy again. I actually had a reason for all the training I've done. However, when I looked at how many fights this guy had, he had like 3 times the amount of fights I had at the time, which again, made me more nervous. But I was still confident that I was gonna win, as most fighters, when they're beginning out, don't really put their all into it. It's more so of a energized hobby. But I truly was training my butt off and fully believed that I was gonna become champion. And I was putting in the work to support that. Then once we got to about 2 days out before the deadline, a second person signed up. Now, this could be a really good thing, or it could be a really bad thing. Let me explain. So, the fact that there were now 3 fighters, let's say this top one is me, we've got, Jim over here, and then we got Jimmy. If it was Jim and Jimmy fighting, then whoever would win that one the next day would then fight me for the regional title. Ooh, that was some bad handwriting. Yeah. Okay. But this also very well could be between, let's say, me and Jim fighting, and then Jimmy is the one that would face me when I'm super tired after that match, which would super suck. So that again had me pretty worried. But then the next day, one of the opponents pulled out. And so then it was just down to me and the experienced guy again. So I was absolutely stoked that it was just back down to a regular 1v1 boxing match where I don't have to be really tired and have to fight again the very next day. And then the morning of the deadline, the last person pulled out. Now this had me panicking. That is until my coach called the organizers of the event to ask them what this meant, and they said that I just automatically win the title. And I'm like, what? Now, when I heard that news, I kind of had really conflicted feelings. On one side, I was super excited to just get the title without having to get beat up over it. On the other hand, though, I kind of felt like, what was the point of all the training if I just automatically won this? It was so anticlimactic. There was no big finish to everything that I had worked for, if that makes sense. Dare I even say unearned. But I wasn't about to just leave feeling these feelings and not having tested my mettle. So me and my coach, we went farther than we've been before to go to an area where there's very high quality gyms that have a lot of fighters. And I ended up sparring somebody who had my exact same experience, and he wasn't really that much of a challenge. I then ended up sparring someone who had over triple the amount of fights as me, and I barely pulled through with those sparring rounds. And then lastly, I sparred the gym's star fighter who is debuting as a pro in about a month. And I did not win a single one of those rounds. And that guy was trying, let me tell you, he was trying to take my head off my neck. But I held it together those rounds, and that's really all I was looking for. And if you guys want to see some of that crazy footage, just let me know and I'll hook it up for you. Okay. While I definitely worked very hard to achieve this goal, I definitely wasn't riding just off of my hard work. There were many others that put a lot of their time and sacrificed their time to help me get to where I am now. And I would like to publicly thank them in this video. Up first, I would like to thank my mother, who hand-cooked and helped me meal prep organic meals almost every single day to help me stay on my nutrition plan. She was extremely helpful in this whole process, was helping with supplements and, you know, just helping me stay healthy while I was tearing my body up trying to achieve this crazy goal.
I feel sorry for all you who will never have my mother's hamburger helper. Truly tragic.
Secondly, I would like to thank my fitness and nutrition coach, Austin, who laid out macro guidelines for me to follow and made a weekly fitness routine that helped me tremendously in becoming the fittest I have ever been. He's super legit, and I will include all of his information down in the description so you guys can check him out. I would definitely recommend him. Next, I would like to thank Derrick, who runs Vincent Boxing Club. He really helped me with a lot of high-level technique and form, and he's just a super cool and interesting dude. I remember walking into his gym and some of his fighters arrived and they started hitting the heavy bag, and I was thinking they had concrete for hands or something because the bag sounded like they were hitting gunshots. I'll also be including his information down in the description so you can check him out, which again, I highly suggest you do because he's a pretty cool dude. Lastly, but most certainly not least, I would like to thank my boxing coach, Daniel, who has helped me get to where I'm at today. He sacrifices more time than I probably even know to help all of his fighters, including me, reach higher heights. I'm super grateful for everything he's done and helped me train in, and I am super glad I walked through his doors when I did. Speaking of that, he also wanted to share a message with you, which I am about to show.
First time I ever saw Santino walk through the doors of Shasta Boxing Club, he was actually in Rice Brothers Jiu-Jitsu classes. That's where I was teaching at. Originally, I would teach boxing classes after the Jiu-Jitsu class was over. I'm pretty sure he was intrigued by the boxing classes, and seeing somebody built the way Santino is, it caught my eye. 6'5", tall. That's the type of boxer you would like to work with, So it was a challenge for me as well. And I right away saw potential, the way he used his length. I found out he did a lot of activities that would help him out with the boxing. So after we moved to our new location, he followed with us and started asking me questions about, hey, how do I pursue boxing matches? And so we started pushing his training a little bit more with sparring, fighting new opponents, people with experience. And at first he was getting rocked. He was getting hit with some good shots, but that was something he didn't just quit. He decided, he's like, okay, I got to get better. And I feel like that's the type of person he is, because that's always something I've seen in him, where he likes that challenge and he has to figure it out. And so I'll never forget, I'm not going to say any names, but a person that did give him a challenge and just gave him some good work as far as in the boxing ring. And I want to say a few weeks went by and it was a full 180. And he was studying and trying to figure out how he was going to beat this guy, and he did. And the other guy's like, man, what was he just preparing for me? I think Santino's preparing for another level. So we ended up getting him on the boxing circuit with the amateur USA Boxing. And his very first fight was against a tough, gritty MMA fighter who had experience. And it was a war. Ended up getting fight of the night. It was his first fight. And he ended up, the opponent even thought he lost. So he pointed at Santino, was like, oh, he won. Santino ended up getting his first loss, which was his first fight. But like I said, every time he went through adversity, he just grew. So, and then from there, he ended up winning his next 3 fights, combining his record to a 3-1 record. And that came with a lot of determination, studying, work ethic, discipline. Out of all my students, probably the most disciplined fighter I've ever met. And that's every coach's dream, is to have a student like him. And it's been a good journey, and I'd like to see him grow from here even more, which I know he will. And so being a big part of it has been exciting to watch, and I look forward to seeing more of it.
Okay. One thing I wanted to say is that this YouTube channel is not going to be only about boxing. While the first video, is about me becoming the Golden Glove champion, it's not going to be solely boxing orientated. While yes, there will be more videos about boxing in the future, showcasing, my improvement, I have so many skills and interests that I would like to post on the YouTube channel and share. So it's mostly just going to be about just my improvement in a lot of different things, a lot of different shenanigans I'm up to, and honestly, it's better just to show than to tell. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Here's a little showcase of things that I like that are going to probably be included in future videos. And if you guys have any cool ideas and stuff you would want me to do, put it down in the comments. Oh, my head. Where am I?
You are within yourself.
Who said that? Who are you?
I am you.
Who am I?
Let me show you. Piano. Art.
That right there's some fine art, if I do say so myself. And I do.
Sword fighting. Winning. Adventuring.
I found a cave. Nothing's ever beat the adventurer, the one, the
Running.
All right, this is the end of the video. And again, if you've made it this far into the video, again, thank you so much for your time. And if you want to know how you can support me,
Let me show you how you can do that real quick.
Yeah, look like well, be brutal. What's that? What's that? What's that? What's that? What's that? What's that thing? What's that thing falling there? Ooh, touch it, let's touch it, let's touch it. I dare you. I dare.